Hello, I'm Ceri James, Chief Strategist at BlueMagnet, and I'd like to welcome you to the first in a series of digital marketing roundups with BlueMagnet. This is where we discuss cutting-edge digital marketing trends and insights. BlueMagnet trains and consults with some of the top digital agencies around the world. Today, our topic is SEO and many of the latest insights to come out of SMX. This is the Advanced Search Marketing Conference, which was hosted in Seattle. Why the information is important and why it will benefit you is because we find that so many agencies are still stuck practicing old SEO techniques. Today, I'm talking with Gillian Meier. She is the CEO of BlueMagnet, and she's going to be taking us through some of the latest SEO trends to be coming out of the SEO landscape over the past few years. Welcome, Gillian.
Thank you, Ceri.
So, please tell us, over the past few years, what is it that you've seen that has been the most significant changes within the SEO landscape?
I think one of the most interesting changes has been that there's been quite a big shift from your off-site factors more to your on-site factors, where we've previously, it was heavily weighted around what you can't control. Mm-hmm. And I think these days you're seeing a lot more of the variables being focused on what you can control as an SEO, the ability to control your content, to be able to really apply a lot of good quality SEO factors to your on-site, the areas that you can control. But on the flip side, that means now that Google is also putting a lot more penalty violations onto webmasters to try to prevent them from manipulating the results as easily as they could in the past.
Okay, so in the past it was very much on-page activity and factors, then it shifted to very much around off-page, and now you're telling me that it shifted right back to on-page again. But there are certain factors that SEOs need to be aware of. What are some of those factors that could end up penalizing a website?
I think one of the simplest factors that Google is focusing on, and it hasn't really changed in the last 3 years, but it's just becoming a lot stricter, is that SEOs need to really stop focusing on the keywords metadata. Mm-hmm. So what we're finding is that they're still stuffing keywords into the meta tags. Okay. And this is a trend that seems to continue, but it's something that really doesn't place much weight on a positive side in terms of allowing you to rank better. But on the flip side, it's actually hurting webmasters because it can actually penalize them and get them to actually drop in the rankings as a result of over-optimization. And that's really not a new trend, but it's just something that seems to still be continuously practiced by SEOs, and that Google is really trying to put their foot down and be a lot stronger with.
Okay. So then obviously, some of the things we would be talking about would be content specifically, I would imagine. And what are some of the impacts from a content perspective that one would need to look at?
I think what we're seeing that there are a lot of on-site factors you can control, but content is one of the obvious factors. And content has changed a lot over the last few years. A couple of years ago, the target was, let me create a 500-word blog post or an article and just heavily sort of stuff the exact keyword I want to rank for into the content. And that would work for a while. And over the last sort of year, we've seen that has changed. I mean, if you look at the tests and the surveys that have come out of the SMX conference, is that those content pages or articles that have over 1,200 words are usually the ones outranking those really sort of SEO, we call them SEO articles. And it's more about having valuable, engaging, insightful content that adds value to the user, not just how many times I can stick my keyword onto a page, and really creating something that adds absolutely no value to the user.
And it's a lot more around themes and kind of topics really now, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's definitely moved away from I need to rank for an exact search term or a phrase, and it's moved around creating a theme, creating context within a topic on the page. So it might have variations of a particular keyword, but it is definitely shifting towards let's rank for a theme or a topic and be the most authoritative, as opposed to let's rank for a keyword and have the most frequently used keyword on the page.
Okay, all right. So what about engagement signals? I mean, I always remember watching bounce as a concerning component. Is that still something that is important to be aware of as a webmaster?
Sure. There was a lot of debate around whether bounce rate was actually being used by Google as a ranking variable. And about a year ago or 2 years ago, it was part of the algorithm where bounce rate was being looked at. And these days, it's more around looking at other signals that indicates to Google that users actually enjoy the content. They're consuming the content. They're spending more time reading the pages. They come back to the pages, often through social bookmarking, that they've actually, tagged their pages. They're sharing it on social media sites. That doesn't mean that bounce rate isn't important. It is very important to a website owner because it is a strong indication that your content is either adding value to a user or not. So while not necessarily part of the algorithm, it is definitely something that every webmaster should be focusing on to understand what content works and what doesn't work.
So I should still watch my bounce rate?
100%.
Okay, fantastic. You said that there are other on-site factors that are factors that one needs to consider. What are some of those?
Absolutely. I mean, other than getting your content right and making your content engaging, there are other more advanced technical things that a website owner can do, that an SEO can do, that can certainly add a lot of value to their rankings. More technical, more sort of architectural enhancements that they can apply from an SEO perspective.
Okay, such as?
Such as structured data markup. That is something that is incredibly important. We're finding that it's coming through more and more in terms of websites that are outranking. The previous sites was just really heavily, again, focused on keywords and sort of on-site content, purely content-based. But now those sites that have a lot more structured data applied to the content are not only ranking better, but they're also getting a lot more of real estate on the SERPs pages, on the Google search results. They're seeing rich answers, rich snippets, rich cards come through, and that just renders a much better experience to a user. And when a user sees a better result on Google, they're much more inclined to click through, which again sends a strong signal to Google that it's an engaging piece of content.
Okay. Yeah, what about backlinks? Are those still necessary to Google? And are there other engagement signals that Google relies on?
So Google doesn't only rely on your social signals. It is a very strong indication. And backlinks have not fallen away by any means. Okay. Backlinks is still an incredibly strong variable, a strong signal to Google that the website is popular. But what we're seeing is that, again, the violation penalties are a lot stricter now on your backlinks, where you should be chasing more high-quality, authoritative websites linking to you, where you're adding value and they're reciprocating on that value, as opposed to just having lots and lots of sort of backlinks from low-quality sites. And what we're finding is that even now when we work with a lot of the SEOs, they're very stuck on submitting websites to hundreds of different directories. It's really about chasing volume and not quality. And the more difficult it is for you to actually acquire a backlink, the harder it is for your competitor to get that backlink. So those free-for-all backlinks, let's just load our website onto a bunch of directories, have low weight. We often suggest to companies rather chase one high-quality link than 100 directory listings that are irrelevant. So the harder it is to get a link, the more valuable it is going to be to adding that authority signal to your website.
So definitely quality over quantity.
Absolutely.
Okay. So if the shift is then really more around on-page, isn't that really where SEO should focus more of their energy on what's going on my website and focus less on the actual backlinking side of things?
Okay. So your on-site factors probably make up about 64% of your variables at the moment. So if you're getting all your architectural and your infrastructure elements in place and you've marked up your data correctly and your content is engaging and rich, you've made up 100% of that 64%. Mm-hmm. So you're only 64% there of the way. The goalpost is still to achieve that 100% sort of perfection. When you're getting all your content right and you've applied your metadata and you've applied your structured data and you've got all of that in place, then you need to kick in to your link acquisition strategy. And that is something, it's not an either or. It's not either on page or off page. You need both. So once you've got your on-site sort of sorted out and waxed, you definitely need to move into focusing on your on-site, your off-site variables, and you need to start concentrating on where can I get high-quality, authoritative websites to want to send their users to my site and to want to link to me. So there's no way out of link building. Mm-hmm. It's still significant, but it's not those low-quality links. It's really high-quality, value, authoritative backlinks, adding a bit of value like web PR and content marketing to acquire that. So creating assets that have value to want to actually attract that backlink. Okay, so it's a necessity.
So create assets for other websites to link to because there's value in that.
Absolutely. And if you're not going to be doing that and you've got all your on-page and technical sorted out, your competitors might have that opportunity to kind of close the gap on you.
Okay, fantastic. So, Gillian, we've spoken a lot about really trends and activity and factors over the past 3 years. I think one of the big pressing questions is what should SEOs consider in terms of 2017? What sort of things should we be preparing ourselves for?
I think prepare ourselves for focusing a lot more on the technical architecture of the website, not just the content. I'm not saying ignore the content, but get the technical stuff right. Focusing on structured data markup. Pay attention to rich snippets, rich card, rich answers. And then if you're looking more sort of towards the more technical side of it, one of the things that was rumored as being important a year ago and it kind of thought it would fall away was your secure sites, HTTPS. And this is predictions moving forward from most of the SEOs out there is that that's going to become far more important. You're going to have secure sites, even for non-transactional sites. And then obviously moving with the mobile trend. If you pay attention to Google's recent announcement saying that it's going to make the mobile index its primary index, it's obvious that we need to start paying much more attention to mobile even than we have in the past. So mobile responsive sites, but in addition to that, there's something new called AMP, which we need to pay attention to. Accelerated mobile pages, and it really just provides for a much richer user experience on a mobile device, and we like to call that sort of mobile on steroids. It renders much faster results and a better experience. And I think those are just some of the things that we really need to be paying more attention to in the next year, rather than just the old traditional SEO, but don't forget the basics.
Okay, so I mean, really as a wrap up, if I can, so SEO needs to be more of a balanced approach between on and off page. We're saying that Google is now looking for longer, more relevant, more engaging content. Basic SEO activities no longer cut it, so you need to really raise your game and raise your knowledge. So some of the big things for 2017, we're saying that we need to focus more on structured data markup, more around trust, authority, and security. And also we're saying that accelerated mobile pages, or AMP as you call it, is something we really, really need to be paying attention to. Is that correct?
Absolutely spot on.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Gillian.
Thank you for having me, Ceri.
BlueMagnet provides digital marketing consulting and training to our clients and a variety of digital marketing agencies. If you would like to know how to get your business onto the front page of Google and keep it there, why not get in contact with us? Click on the link below. And if you found value in this video, why not share it with everyone else? Thank you.